Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for this Learn to Play video for The Initiative. So The Initiative is a co-op strategy game. They call it the cooperative game of story, strategy, and code breaking. It is for 1 to 4 players, so you can play it solo or with friends. It is from Unexpected Games, and it is designed by Corey Konieczka, who is famous for many games, the least of which Battlestar Galactica, the Space Hulk card game, Death Angel card game. Just he has a lot of credits out there. So this game we have on the website. It is $60, and we actually will have some playthrough videos as we play through it. We'll post our missions online. Now, just to let you know, the way this game plays, it is very spoiler driven. So if you plan on playing it yourself or with your group, we definitely don't recommend watching our mission playthrough videos until you've actually played it. If you're not planning on playing it, then feel free to watch them as well. But anyway, that's kind of the notification on that one. So real quick, let's dive into the how to play the Initiative. So the main components of the Initiative come in the form of course, the main rule books, and there's technically 2 because it's technically 2 games. So you have the Initiative guidebook. This is where you start, and this is how you progress through the campaign. On the back of the guidebook, of course, is your campaign log that you're going to track all your wins and losses. It's going to tell you which missions to play. You're going to log secrets. There's lots of information on how you're going to progress through the game there. However, inside each mission, you're actually playing a different game, and that game is called The Key. This is, when you start reading the story, you'll find these 4 teenagers, Brock, Jenny, Phil, and Prathna, basically found this game at a garage sale and decided to start playing it, this game being The Key. However, as they play it, weird things are starting to happen. And like I said, we're still early on, so we don't quite know exactly where the story's going, but we don't want to spoil it for you anyway. So the rules for how the key works are all contained on this little pamphlet, and there's not a lot to it. So basically, what you'll do is the campaign will give you a mission, and the mission card will give you a layout of how to actually set up the board, how many clue tiles to put on each token, where to put walls to change up the board a little bit, and then of course where you're going to start playing. Then you actually have the mission card with the actual cipher. The puzzle is actually in here, and then as you unlock the puzzle, you flip these little doors up and it reveals stuff. I just intentionally flipped the door up that you won't see what's under there. And then the question that it's asking, what is this key phrase? This is your mission objective. You're trying to figure out, your code breaker's trying to figure out what this key phrase is. Now, in later missions, this question changes. It could be, you could have to figure out letters and then unscramble a word. You may have to do some kind of math to it. There's different types of ciphers and puzzles to this. It's not all just a Wheel of Fortune, guess the puzzle. That's just this first mission. So you get all your characters. Every character has their own special ability and special action that they can take. They're all really powerful special actions. However, they make you churn through cards a little bit more so than just the normal actions. So you want to use them wisely. So what'll happen is at the beginning of the game, every player is going to draw 4 cards from this resource deck, and these 4 cards will have numbers corresponding on them. Okay. Now the symbology and the colors don't mean anything in the basic game. However, a mission may actually utilize these colors, these suits is what they call them. But in the base game, really only the number matters. And you'll use these resource cards to perform actions. You can perform 1 or 2 actions on any one of your turns. You don't have to do both. But you have to perform at least 1 action. That could be your special action. And to perform your special action, all you have to do is discard 2 cards to the discard pile and perform that action. Like I said, they're very powerful. Alternatively, what you can do is you can spin these resource cards to perform one of the 4 basic actions. Okay? And to do so, you have to play a card whose number is higher than what's already on the pile. Of course, you see an uncarded pile starts with 0. So I can place a 1 there and perform the run action. However, if I want to do the run action again, or another player wants to play it, they have to put something higher. So like this 2. Or the 6 will work as well. But now, if somebody else wants to do that run action, they can't play a 2. They either have to play something higher than that 6, or they have to use the regroup action to clear all those cards off and move them to the discard pile. The regroup is the only action card that cannot also be regrouped. However, Brock here does have a special ability that does allow you to clear the regroup. So in our playthrough, it's kind of made it pretty evident that his special ability is quite a bit more important than maybe the rest of them. However, they're all pretty good. So the 4 actions, run basically allows you to move up to 3 adjacent rooms where there's no wall, where there's a passageway. So I can't move this direction because there's a wall there, but I can move 1, 2, 3 to get to that next room. Simple. For my second action, I could do intel. What intel allows you to do is choose any room on the board. You don't have to be in it, you don't have to be adjacent to it, and you can take the 2 clue tokens in it and reveal them. So say I went down this way and I wanted to reveal this room, I can. So all you do to reveal is you take 2 clue tokens and flip them face up. Now, a room could have more than 2. This is just the base setup. However, and what you're gonna find is some of these clue tokens may have clues on them in the form of these glyphs. So like these icons, or they may have traps like what I just revealed. Different traps resolve differently. Security cameras force you to move cards off the resource pile, which this resource card pile acts as your timer for the game. So as you're spending cards and doing actions, burning through this sometimes isn't the best idea, and eventually it can actually put you in peril, and when you're in peril, the way you play kind of changes a little bit. Gas forces you to discard cards. Other traps like, I forget exactly what they call them, but when they have these icons, basically you put them over the action card and no one can perform that action until a regroup action is done on it and it clears that token off. So it stalls your ability to do certain actions as you go. But the intent of flipping these clue tokens over with the intel is to find glyphs. Now, say you revealed, once you reveal, you can come into a room and you can use the gather action. The gather action allows you to collect up to 2 revealed tokens from your room. So if I'm in this room, they were already revealed from an intel action last turn, I can collect them. Now, if a glyph does not appear on your mission control chart, you can just discard it whenever you reveal it. However, if it's a trap, you resolve it. If it's a glyph that's on your board, you leave it there until it's gathered. Once I gather that token, I discard it, and then any glyph on here that has that same symbol, you flip the door on, and it starts revealing the puzzle as you go to try to answer that question. Okay. Now, alternatively, if you are in a room where nothing is revealed, you can actually use the gather action to flip and gather 1 clue on the same turn. Now, it also still can reveal traps. It can still reveal glyphs that aren't on your board, but it's a different way of it's like a mini intel plus a gather. It's kind of a split action that you can do. Of course, the regroup clears all of the cards into the discard and any trap tokens that may be on them. Once your turn's over, once you've performed your 1 or 2 actions, you have to draw back up to your full hand size of 4. Now, once the resource deck is empty and they're all in hands or on actions or discarded, and somebody has to draw and they can't because there's no more cards left, then you go into peril. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all the discarded resource cards plus these 4 time cards. You're going to flip the discard and go into peril, and you're going to shuffle these time cards into this deck. Now, a couple of things change when you're in peril. Okay, so the resource cards come back over here. You do not have to draw back up to your hand size at the end of your turn once you're in peril. You can choose how much you want to draw, and you draw them one at a time. And there's a reason you might want to do that, because now these time cards are in there. And once there are enough time cards with these symbols to add 3, of course there are 3 cards that have 1 symbol and 1 card that has 2 symbols. Once you have 3, the game's over. If you haven't solved the puzzle, then you've lost. So you really get kind of antsy when you start drawing through the resource deck. So you want to be super conservative, sometimes even before you go into peril, just so you delay going into peril anymore. Also, you don't have to do any actions if you don't want. However, if you're not doing actions, you're just delaying the game, because you're still going to have to draw. You're still going to have to progress the game. Then, once you've gone through and you've revealed and found clues, and you've flipped enough doors that you're confident, you and your teammates are confident you know what the answer to the question is, you get a chance to guess. You have to be unanimous in what you decide you want to do, because if you're even the slightest bit wrong, you're off by 1 character, you're off by 1 number or anything, then you lose. The only way to win is to guess the answer to this question perfectly. And that's a pretty tall order as these puzzles get more and more complicated as you get down. Whether you win or lose, you'll go back to the guidebook, and the guidebook will tell you where to go next. And there may be prompts based on whether or not you won or lost. Losing does not train wreck your progression through the campaign. You're still going to keep going. However, winning basically gives you more tools in your toolbox to be better ready for the end game. Now, we haven't played that yet. We don't know exactly what that is because we haven't gone through the 15 chapters yet. But those are the basics. As you also go through, you're going to unlock secret cards that are going to give you more clues into the kind of the bigger game of the initiative. Because, like I said, this is just one phase of the game. The key is just one phase. Outside of that, you're going to be using clues. We actually had to get pen and paper and do like a little cryptogram thing to actually figure out some clues going into it. So there's a lot of deduction, a lot of puzzles to this game. It was a lot of fun. And of course the comic is cute and kind of driving the story a little bit. But it's nothing that's just, it's going to wow you as far as its writing goes, at least not yet. But anyway, that is the basics of the initiative. Well, that concludes pretty much the basic rundown of how each mission in the initiative plays, going back and forth between the guidebook to the actual key game, and then back and forth as the guidebook dictates. There's a lot of depth in this game that I didn't think that there was going to be. And of course, we're still early on, so we haven't seen what the later missions look like. But from what I'm told, the puzzles and the meta puzzle and all the clue solving really opens up the further you get into the game. As far as I know, there are 15 campaign missions inside of this box, with some other missions afterwards that you can play even outside of the campaign. I don't know how replayable this is going to be once you're done with the campaign. A lot of it just has to depend on what those non-campaign missions end up looking like. I do know, however, that they have talked about some add-on content for this game coming down the road, so it may be worthwhile to hang on to it after you're done. Of course, you will be marking in the guidebook, so if you were going to give this game to somebody else to play, they would need their own campaign log at the very least if they didn't doctor up the book. It's a lot of fun. It's like I said, it's deeper than I thought it was going to be, especially the non-key game parts, the actual game outside of the key. There's a lot of writing codes down on pen and paper and trying to figure stuff out. It's a lot of fun in that respect. And there's not a lot of rules for that part of the game. That's why I didn't go through it earlier, because it just kind of unfolds as you play. like I said, we will be doing playthroughs of these starting with mission 2. We did mission 1 off camera. We did not record that, but we did starting with mission 2. So if you are planning on playing the initiative and you have not yet played mission 2, don't watch our video because it'll be going up pretty soon. It'll probably be going up with this Learn to Play video as well. But if you're not going to play it and you just want to watch us play it, you're more than welcome to. Just know that it's going to spoil the game and it's actually going to spoil the actual end objectives, what you're actually trying to accomplish. It will make the game unplayable if you know what's coming. So unless you have a way to like completely forget something, which would be awesome, I would watch Star Wars brand new every week. It would be fantastic. However, like I said, if you're looking at playing this, then definitely wait until you've played the mission before you watch our mission video. That's why we did this separate Learn to Play video. We're having a lot of fun with it. You can pick it up on our website, unknowncomicbooks.com, $60. And so at the time of this video, our stock may be limited, but you'll just have to go to our website and see. We're enjoying it. We hope you do too. Thanks for joining us for this Learn to Play video, and we'll see you next time.